3 minutes without air, 3 days without water, 3 weeks without food. These are the strict factory settings of human biology. Under the rules of Darwinian evolution, we are predators. To survive, we have to constantly consume and digest the resources around us. There is a persistent theory running through history suggesting that this constant need to consume is a biological trap. It proposes that our digestive system is not an evolutionary triumph, but a downgrade from an original, self-sustaining state. The silk texts recovered from the Mawangdui tombs in China detail an ancient Taoist practice known as bigu. In the original context, this didn't refer to a calorie-restricted diet. It described the opening of a biological channel, a method to reject earthly food and return the body to a state of self-sufficiency. Records from the Tang dynasty suggest Empress Wu Zetian put this claim to the test. She locked a bigu practitioner in a cell for a month under constant guard. When the cell was finally opened, the practitioner showed no signs of physical wasting or the typical markers of starvation. Modern clinical observations have captured similar anomalies. In 2010, the Indian military monitored a monk who claimed to live without food. Ultrasound scans during the study showed urine forming in his bladder, a normal metabolic waste product, only for the liquid to be entirely reabsorbed by the bladder walls back into his system. His body appeared to be operating as a closed loop. Claims like these invite skepticism because the field is full of documented frauds. In 1983, a high-profile breatharian leader was caught sneaking into a McDonald's for a Big Mac and a soda. This history of deception makes the genuine medical anomalies even more difficult to categorize. When the frauds are stripped away, the remaining evidence points toward a dormant biological system buried beneath our predatory organs. Some researchers refer to this as System B. Physicist Erwin Schrödinger looked past the chemical process of eating to find a deeper purpose. He argued that we don't eat for caloric energy, but to maintain our internal structure against the universe's natural pull toward disorder. This animation shows Schrödinger's concept of negative entropy. A plant captures scattered sunlight and organizes it into highly structured chemical bonds. When we eat, we consume that physical order to prevent cellular breakdown. If eating simply acquires order, it suggests a shortcut. We could skip the plant and absorb cosmic order directly. In the 1970s, German physicist Fritz Albert Popp discovered that living cells continuously emit a weak, highly stable stream of light called biophotons. He found that all living things, from seeds to human tissue, are essentially glowing, though the light is too faint for the naked eye. Popp's research suggests DNA acts as a quantum antenna. By expanding and contracting at high frequencies, the DNA molecule might broadcast these biophotons like a biological Wi-Fi signal, using light to organize cellular activity. If our cells are managed by a light-based signaling system, then the concept of absorbing energy from the environment moves from the realm of mysticism into quantum biology. The hardware for this absorption might already be part of our anatomy. In 2002, Mexican researcher Arturo Solis Herrera was studying melanin, the dark pigment that protects our skin from the sun. Herrera was confused by the high concentration of melanin surrounding the human optic nerve. Since the optic nerve functions in the total darkness of the skull, the pigment isn't there to block visible sunlight. This animation illustrates Herrera's conclusion. He found that melanin can absorb invisible electromagnetic radiation to split water molecules into hydrogen and oxygen, releasing energy in the process. Melanin can also reverse this process in the dark, acting as a rechargeable battery. It effectively functions as a form of human photosynthesis, generating power without the need for digestion. This reveals a contradiction in our evolution. We possess the cellular architecture for light absorption, yet we remain bound to a predatory scavenge diet. Vladimir Vernadsky, a founder of biochemochemistry, analyzed the history of the Earth's biosphere to understand why we developed this way. He determined that the early Earth was simply too volatile for delicate organisms to rely on ambient light. Gravity, ice ages, and atmospheric shifts made the light-based path too slow for survival. Life took a faster, more violent path to survive these conditions. We developed heavy bones and predatory digestive systems to rip energy from other organisms. We traded our dormant light engines for the ability to survive Earth's gravity. Konstantin Tsiolkovsky, who developed the mathematical foundations of modern rocketry, believed this predatory state was a temporary phase. Tsiolkovsky's journals reveal that he saw the rocket as a tool to evacuate the planet. He wanted to use technology to move humanity away from Earth's gravity and back into the radiation-rich environment of space. He theorized that in a zero-gravity environment, the body would naturally atrophy its heavy muscles and digestive organs. This would force the reawakening of System B. Tsiolkovsky's view aligned with the ancient concept of the light-sound heaven, a state where beings lived on pure energy, before thickening into flesh by eating earthly matter. Starving yourself on Earth is fatal because our current hardware still demands fuel. But the push to the stars actually represents a century-old engineering project designed to reverse our biological history. We aren't just exploring space. We are attempting to shed our predatory biology and return to the state our ancestors described as beings of light.